monsters ever die.
And this monster starts running right at me.
Annihilated by nuclear bombs.
Beast is not dead. I put 4 bullets into him.
Oh, you're crazy.
But I saw that monster too. All I want is for someone to believe me.
Contaminated.
Face. Horrible. Look like it would scare you to death.
All right, let's get to work.
Here we go.
So his character's line was, this pipe is a magic pipe. It's so magical and mysterious. Magical and mysterious. And then he'd trail off and never finish the sentence. It was the last character that Jim Henson voiced in the last episode that he voiced on Fraggle Rock.
Right?
It was his last character that he invented. And he has this little like tube flute and then he like does like a Pied Piper thing with all the Fraggles.
Huh.
Yeah.
I love Jim Henson,
Last
by
voice.
the way.
Yeah, me too.
I love
Me too.
Jim
Also,
Henson.
they brought Fraggle Rock back, and not as a cartoon, but like as the actual like
Puppets.
puppets.
Cool,
yeah,
cool.
and it's like they're identical. I mean, the opening song's different, which kind of bummed me out. But
Oh man.
otherwise, yeah, it's not like down at Fraggle Rock. It's none of that stuff. It's yeah, it's not. But all the characters look the same, and it looks like they're gonna have new fun stuff. And the sets are super detailed, and the doozers have upgraded their technology. So they've got like a doozer monorail that runs around.
Oh
It's
man.
pretty cool. It's
Jim
pretty
Henson's great. I think we had a long discussion about that big sketchbook. His sketchbook from concept art from Labyrinth.
Oh yeah,
Oh man.
dude, he had some cool ideas. Makes me wonder how many ones didn't get like put through to production.
Have you seen how big that sketchbook is?
No.
It's
You
like-
told me
It's
about
like
it.
this, man.
Oh my god.
And maybe 1 or 2% of the stuff was in the movie.
Of course.
Yeah. Jim
course.
Henson is the greatest. Any hoots and hollers. Welcome in, everybody. This is episode 5 of Beyond the Shadows. I am Victus,
I'm Aeon.
and this week we are talking about a cryptid. And I know you've been asking a lot about cryptids. And
I'm interested because I want them all to be real. I know vast majority are just a thing that scared someone in the woods, but there's a bunch of them that I really want to be real because I think it's so interesting.
so I really like cryptids. I love them, but like I really wanted to like just dive in head first with like Bigfoot and be like, yeah,
Right.
we're gonna talk about Bigfoot. But Jesus, it's beat that dead horse as much as you want.
Right.
But
They've made a feature-length
everybody's
movie about it in the
done-
90s.
Yeah, everybody's done Bigfoot.
Harry and the Hendersons.
I'd almost considered doing Mothman this week because I do live
Oh.
in Virginia.
Yep.
And I started listening to Mothman Prophecies and watch the movie, and I do a lot. That's the way I do my research, is I'll listen to audiobooks while I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
And I started listening to books on Mothman. I'm like, you know what? This is kind of like Bigfoot. It's been beat to death. Let's go ahead with something a little bit more off the beaten trail. So this week we are covering the Jersey Devil.
Yes.
The
That is
Jersey
one that I've
Freaky
heard
Devil.
of, but I don't know much about it.
Okay, so
I don't
Jersey,
know much about it.
Jersey
or
Devil
how it
is one of
started
the,
or any of that.
it's one of the few that are actually rooted in deep like historical lore. There's a lot of folklore tales that go way back that talk about the Jersey Devil, and so there's a little bit of history to it that take it way back to what's the first the first story is in 1938,
Oh wow.
and it's like hardcore folklore, printed books about it and everything, very early on in American history. And this one was okay. So I like to choose stories that we're going to talk about that have some things that I could show you.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that there was a video just recently recorded. Let me scroll down and see what the date was on this video. 2015. A video.
That's pretty recent.
Yeah, a video was recorded. I found screenshots of the video, but I couldn't find the video.
Cover up.
Yes. Conspiracy. Aliens.
Aliens. Cover.
Aliens. Aliens. Hand gestures.
The government figured out. They took it away. We don't get to see it.
I think I know why, and we'll get to that later. So, on the flip side of that, I do have some really cool pictures. Like I said, I got a couple screenshots from that video, and I also have a couple of really old newspaper clippings from back in the day. But the Jersey Devil's fun. I like the Jersey Devil. Everybody kind of knows the name. Like, I'm a hockey fan, so of course I knew Jersey Devil just as soon as I knew who the Detroit Red Wings were.
Right.
So it's kind of known, but it's kind of not. But the story behind it is kind of interesting.
I've heard it, but I haven't heard the story. So tell me, walk me into it.
Take it back. Okay, so like every time we do this, I'm always like rehearsing how I'm gonna start the story, because it's the way my brain works. I rehearse conversations in my head for hours before I have them, and I always like my first line is I want to take it back, and then of course my mind switches to logic to the song "Take It Back," or no, is it called "Take It Back"? I think it's called "Take It Back," but it's a song about him growing up, and and the hook is "Take it back to the way back to the way back to the first black man." Yeah, it goes on and on. It's cool. I love his fucking track, man. But every time I'll start thinking about this, and like, oh, I'm gonna take you back to, and then the song plays in my head, and then I'm like, well, I gotta stop what I'm doing, so now I gotta go listen to some Logic. That's what I was doing when you told me call you. So, yeah, I was gonna just connect and be like blasting Logic, and here you go, buddy.
Also, just a plug, I like your Adventure Time shirt.
Thank you.
That's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope. I love Adventure Time.
So do I. They got this at Walmart for like $7, dude.
I finally finished Star versus the Forces of Evil.
Oh yes, excellent.
I loved it.
We were just watching that yesterday.
I was so glad there were 4 seasons.
Have you seen? Oh geez, shame on me. Fiona and Cake.
Nope.
Do you know Fiona and Cake?
Nope.
Remember Ice King? Ice King does the like fan fiction of Finn and Jake, and it's like all of the characters in Adventure Time, but their genders are reversed. Yeah.
There's like I've never heard of it.
Like maybe 3 episodes where Ice King will be reading out of his book of short stories, and it's like fan fiction about Finn and Jake, but it's really Finn and Jake, but it's really the way he tells it is it's gender swapped. So instead of Finn and Jake, it's Fiona and Cake. So it's a girl superhero or girl main character with a cat. So everything is swapped. So like Marceline is a boy, a vampire prince. It's the Ice Queen, Prince Bubblegum. Everything.
Oh, okay. No,
everything is gender swapped.
I haven't watched all the episodes, so.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah.
But they did a spin-off. They did a whole season of just Fiona and Cake just recently, and it's excellent.
Oh, that's cool.
It is so good. It is so good. I love Fiona. I like Fiona and Cake more than I like Finn and Jake. So let me make sure I got the right mouse here. Take it back to the way back to the way back. All right. The Jersey Pinelands of New Jersey. It's home to pine trees and sandy roads, but it's also home to New Jersey's most infamous resident, the Jersey Devil. Designated in 1938 as the country's only state, they said country, I'm sure it's county, the county's only state demon. The Jersey Devil is described as a kangaroo-like creature with the face of a horse, the head of a dog, bat-like wings, horns, and a tail. And for more than 250 years, this mysterious creature is said to prowl through the marshes of southern New Jersey and emerge periodically to rampage through the towns and cities. So I did not know that there are swamplands in New Jersey. I just assumed it was the entire city of New Jersey.
I'm glad you dropped it because I was gonna be like, hey, no offense to the people of Jersey, but I kind of thought the whole thing was the type of swamp.
I just figured it. I just figured all of it was a friggin' cesspool.
That's right. I said what I said. I don't regret it.
Sorry to our listeners in New Jersey. It was an easy punch, and I had to pull it.
I was gonna say low hanging fruit, man.
Yeah.
Everybody else gets to make the joke. I can't wait.
Yeah. Hey, I used to live in Detroit. Go ahead and comment on this
Right.
episode and talk shit about
Right.
Detroit. It's fine. I don't care.
Right.
Yes. Oh, by the way, you can do that now. Today, actually, Spotify updated its podcasting thing. Now you can comment on podcasts.
Sweet.
So
Maybe we'll get one day.
comment. We did get a comment on YouTube. On YouTube. Hold on. Let me pull it up. I got to give a shout out right quick. I'm very happy because
Was it hate mail?
no, it was somebody actually commenting on my cat ears. I'm totally okay with it. It's totally cool.
That's great. I'm just glad somebody watched it and cared enough to interact with
I
it.
know, right?
Even if they're like, "Hey, man, that thing in the background, what is that? Did you get that on Amazon?"
You
Like,
know,
I'd be cool with
I'm
that.
really surprised more people don't talk about this shit back here. I've got a little bit of everything in the background.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'd be
Jeez.
cool with something like that. I'd be like, "Oh my god, you interacted. Thank you so much."
I was like, oh my god! I started jumping about a bit. Yes. All right, comments. Here we go.
I mean, you definitely have the far superior and dope-worthy setup on your end of the camera, for sure.
okay, hold on. It is at Tina Marie Miller.96. She said, "Love your kitty ear cat headphones. Been trying to get a pair of those forever." And then a bunch of cat emojis and a heart emoji and a skull and crossbones emoji and a sparkle emoji. So thank you for watching. Thank you so much.
for watching, Tina Marie.
Thank you so much. But yes, if you are listening, I got these at Best Buy. These are little clip-on guys. You can put them on any pair of headphones that you own. That's why I bought them. But thank you for listening. You made our day. Oh my god, I lost my place. Let me get
So we were talking about New Jersey being a swamp.
yeah, sorry, New Jersey. But I want to read that back one more time. Kangaroo-like creature with the face of a horse, head of a dog, bat-like wings, horns, and a tail.
Isn't most of a horse's face its head?
Yeah.
I mean, a horse is like all face. Like once you get past the face part, it's just the back of the skull.
So if you just shrink down a horse's head, wouldn't you kind of say that's dog-headed shaped?
Right. I mean, it's just instead of having like a brow, it's just nose to forehead.
Snoopy.
Snoopy.
Snoopy's a horse.
That's not
Yeah.
how I imagined from the name Jersey Devil. Not.
Yeah, I think they gave it the devil name because it says it has bat wings, horns, and a tail,
Okay. And rampages.
and rampages periodically.
Okay.
Periodically.
Cyclical rampaging. Cyclical rage for random towns.
Oh, there's a dead fly on my desk. Fantastic, a snack for later. Okay, so the history is, and this is kind of interesting. This is what I liked about it because there is history about it.
It said 250 years.
Yeah. The most widely held belief about the origin of the Jersey Devil is that Mrs. Leeds, she was a prominent woman in the area at the time, a resident of Estiville, which I'm not 100% sure where that is. I'm assuming it's somewhere near Jersey, or maybe it was the town that used to be, but now it's New Jersey. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I didn't research the city because it's really moot.
Mm-hmm.
She was distraught when she learned that she was expecting her 13th child.
Oh, I would be.
Yeah.
I mean, and the first 12. For all the reasons.
I mean, one would be enough. You know, how expensive is it to raise one child today? Imagine back in 1938.
oh, I meant when the kid. I meant about the kid shooting the moon. I mean, you got that 12 times. I can only imagine.
I think after
You
10, they
know.
just fall out.
They walk out with a top hat and a cane, swinging it, singing that thing like the WB Frog. Hello, my baby. Hello, my.
He's kicking his foot up. I can't kick my foot up. It's underneath my desk.
Thank you, growing up in the 90s.
Yes, kids today will never know what we're talking about. It's okay. Go back and watch your Looney Tunes and Hanna-Barbera cartoons. You'll catch up with us.
Yeah, they don't have semi-racist cartoon characters.
Oh my
anymore.
God, right? But on the flip side of that, I say this all the time. My introduction to classical music was Bugs Bunny
Oh right, yep.
and opera music.
Also, Ben and Jerry was my first exposure to the concept of blackface.
Oh, yeah, you're
The
right.
lady with the broom that would chase him around. Like now you go back and watch it, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, some things just don't age
so,
well.
That's so
Yeah.
foul.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad. Her character specifically is just it's like now
Yeah,
when I
man.
watched it as a kid, I was like, it's the lady with the broom like chasing around Tom for being a jerk and he won't get the mouse because he's an inept hunter. But but now you go back and watch it, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
America had problems at the time.
Yeah, we had lots of problems. So that was
America was having problems.
that was the 20s, wasn't it? 20s, 30s?
Oh, I don't know when Ben and Jerry or Tom and Jerry, Ben and Jerry.
Let me Ben and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry.
Mm,
Ben and Jerry. I don't know when Tom and Jerry came out.
let me see. When did Tom and Jerry come out? 1940.
Oh yeah, yep. So that
So
would
right
that would
around the
explain
time
it.
the Jersey Devil was born.
There you go.
So now we know the reason the Jersey
We had-
Devil is so fucked up is because Tom and Jerry influenced them.
So we had Tom and Jerry with blackface and the Jersey Devil all. No wonder America
What
was
is
having
the-
trouble. It was post World War. It was just before World War II.
Yeah.
No wonder it happened. I mean, just all the things,
Jesus
all the
Christ.
things.
I'm
we're
glad-
just asking for it,
I'm glad we progressed as a country. I really do. It just-
right?
Ah.
Okay.
Anywho,
Go for it.
so Mrs. Leeds is about to have her 13th child. She was distraught to learn that she was expecting for the 13th time. In disgust, she cried out, and somehow this is a direct quote, "Let the child be a devil." The story continues that the
direct
child, yeah, it's everything I've researched. It shows that this is a quote.
Okay.
Let the child be a devil, or let it be a devil, or let it be the devil.
Okay.
So the story continues that the child arrived and the baby was a devil. But there's also reports that the baby was born, he looked fine, but he was screaming and screaming, and his face turned red because he was screaming so much, and then he turned into a devil.
Oh. Okay.
So there's two stories.
Okay.
Choose which one you want. The creature then gave a screech, unfolded its unholy wings, and flew out a window and into an adjacent swamp
Huh.
as a baby.
Okay.
So don't curse your child before it's born. Lesson learned. Flew out the window, adjacent swamp. Countless stories have circulated describing the devil's escapades, raiding chicken coops and farms, destroying crops, killing animals. His presence has been seen and felt by many in at least 50 different towns in the area when he emerges from his natural lair in the Pinelands. And he wanders through southern New Jersey, sometimes intriguing and sometimes terrorizing the residents. So he's got a bat cave that he just hangs out in the swamps, and just shows up sometimes. I need to turn my air conditioner off. It is getting cold in here. Let's see. Posses were constantly formed to apprehend the devil, but to no avail. And at one point, as much as $100,000 was offered for the capture of the Jersey Devil, dead or alive.
Wow. So a lot of people were invested.
There's lots of lesser reports of like coming out into the pasture the next morning and 3 animals had their throats ripped out.
Oh.
Or half the crops in the field had just been flattened and killed or whatever, or knocking on windows, beating on walls, running across of roofs. Lots of silly shit like this. We will highlight a handful of more prominent stories later on, but there's lots of little bitty sightings. Of course, it was, it was the 40s, so I'm assuming people were just having a hard time and just trying to blame shit on whatever they could blame it on.
Heck, wouldn't that have been the Great Depression?
I'm pretty sure.
Or no, that's before World War I.
Yeah, that was the 20s.
Yeah, that was just after the 20s. Yeah, so it would have been the 30s. So we would have been coming out of it though.
I mean, the 40s
Or
weren't
trying
great
to.
either way.
Yeah, it was just after, not long after World War I.
Yeah,
what this would have
been. Several reports of the Jersey Devil's death also proved to be inconclusive, even though the scientific community could not explain its existence. Belief in the Jersey Devil is quite real and based on records of concrete occurrences. Reliable people, including police, government officials, businessmen, and many others whose integrity is beyond question, have witnessed the devil's activities. To this day, people traveling down the Garden State Parkway or the Atlantic City Expressway reported sightings of something or telling stories of strange occurrences. Many continue to believe that the legendary being is still around, disturbing the region, and will continue to do so for generations to come. So that's the story in a nutshell.
So it's also immortal.
Yeah. So human, but
Or
immortal.
is proliferating.
Yeah, we're getting back to the Bigfoot thing. It's if he's out there, I mean,
He's got to have had offspring.
one devil is born. So what is he, asexual and just buds one off and he plops under the ground?
Yeah, it's his tail.
It's the tail. Tail falls off.
Yeah, tail falls off. He sprouts a new one, and the tail sprouts a devil.
It takes root and turns into a fairy tree, and then it grows a devil.
Yeah, devil fruit.
Fruit of the devil. So let's get it. Oh, wrong mouse. Damn, 3 mice over here. One of the first reported Jersey Devil sightings was. Oh, I got a date wrong here. The first reported sightings was in 1812.
Oh, okay. So when did she have the devil then?
Let me find out. Let me Google it.
Because that's a 120 year difference. 129 year difference.
It's Steady trying to ask me questions about Tom and Jerry. 1735. Wow. I totally missed that one.
Okay. Well, there you go. 1735 was when she had.
Jane Leeds, also known as Mother Leeds, gave birth to the Jersey Devil on a stormy night in 1735 in Pine Barrens near Leeds Point, New Jersey.
Dang, so that was before we were the United States.
Yeah.
Like 40 years
Yeah.
before.
1776
Wow.
is when we signed the Constitution.
Interesting fact. It's not the day that we signed it. It's not the day that we finished writing it. It's the day that Congress ratified it.
Yeah. July 4th, 1776.
Weirdly. Yeah.
And fun note on the Statue of Liberty, the book that she's holding, it shows in Roman numerals on the book July 4th, 1776.
That's cool. The French were super nice.
They were.
about our independence.
Did you know that there was two Statues of Liberty?
Yes, there's a smaller one in France.
It's right near the Eiffel
Still,
Tower. Yeah.
Yeah, it's next to a bridge, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't quite reach out and touch her, but she's out there, and people have jumped across.
Yeah.
And or climbed up her.
Interesting fact of the day. Hey.
And we took a very long time to raise the money for the pediment for her to stand on.
Oh my gosh.
Like the French paid for everything else, but we had to raise the money for the big limestone massive stand that it's on. Yeah, they did like a penny campaign.
What's the name of the island again? Hey Google, what's the name of the island that the Statue of Liberty stands on? Liberty Island, son of a bitch.
I feel stupid. I feel dumb.
Ellis Island, that's it.
Ellis Island. Okay, yeah.
Can you hear
A little.
her? Oh yeah, that's fine. Clip that for later. Show how stupid I am. Thank you. Okay, where were we? Yeah, so 1736 was when the Jersey Devil was born. I'm sorry, I got a burp. Whee. I drink an energy drink and I'm halfway through Mike's Hard Lemonade, so lots of bubbles today. All right, so one of the first reported sightings of the Jersey Devil was in 1812 by Joseph Bonaparte, ironically Napoleon's older brother.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he was here.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. He was like, my brother's doing all the cool shit over here. I'm just going to go to the new lands across the ocean. They'll think I'm important over there. I'll just go by my last name so they all think I'm him. Anyway, sorry. I like to cut it up sometimes. Sorry, I'm relishing in my day off. I'm really enjoying today. All right. He claimed he saw the Jersey Devil while hunting near his Bordentown estate, which I don't know where Bordentown is. I'm assuming it's near New Jersey, logic says.
Mm-hmm.
Sightings occurred, and the legend grew, fueled by animal attacks, strange footprints, and reports filed by eyewitnesses who supposedly encountered the beast. So, I have a note here to show you the first newspaper clipping. We actually have a newspaper clipping. Here we go. Yeah. Check this out.
Oh, shit.
It doesn't have a date.
And they call it the Leeds Devil then.
Yes, because Leeds was the mother. So it says
Hoof prints in the snow.
So this is a really cool story. So this is a whole like paranormal circle in its own. So this story, this is great. This is one of my favorites. I gotta switch positions here because this is so good. Oh, my little legs are falling asleep. So people in this town of Bordentown reported all night long to the police that they were hearing hoof prints or footsteps on their roofs, and people were scared shitless. This was a long time ago. I don't think I have a date on this. So somewhere around 1812. So still very early on. People were talking about how there was footsteps on the roofs, or they would hear scratching at the windows, and they were scared to death. Because back then, Christianity was very prominent, and if you were a Christian, you believed everything bad was the devil.
Right.
So they were hearing this, and they were like, it's the devil. The devil's outside. I'm not going outside. I'm not going to look. Police didn't even go out and look that night. So police go out in the morning. They found hoof prints in the snow that would walk up to houses, and they would look like it would be standing in front of a window for a little while. And then there would be hoof prints on the roof, like it just jumped up and landed on the roof. Walked across the roof, jumped down the other side. They followed this thing for like 20 miles, and it just went through this town from house to house, looking in windows, walking across roofs, and they would lose, like, it would be walking, and then suddenly the trail would be gone. And then they would find it, pick up like a quarter mile away on a roof somewhere. Like it just took off flying and landed somewhere. It is so fucking weird, man. This is a great little fucking rabbit hole that you can go down. This is my favorite piece of evidence about this story because there's so much documentation about this. Tons of newspaper articles. This is one of the newspaper articles that survived. We only have a clip of it, but for those of you not watching on YouTube, I'll go ahead and get Aeon here to read read the title of this and maybe the subtitle.
Okay, let me. So the title is "Fly Rival of Leeds Devil" in quotes has Jersey people frightened. The subtitle: Hoofprints in the snow, whirring noises in the air, and other uncanny manifestations reach Bordentown and Mount Holly after making sensation in lower counties where natives remain indoors after sundown.
Yeah, so this is an actual newspaper clipping. There is a little tiny illustration here. Excuse me. Let me see. I can't. It's time for.
It looks like a cat head on top of a Falcor looking dragon,
Yeah,
but not furry.
it's yeah. I don't.
And I see what looks like a dog and a cat and a dude running away from it. It says it's time for.
I can't
I can't read it.
see something US. I can't see how that could be too many words.
Yeah,
I guess it.
I can't.
I guess it could be
can't
church.
read it.
It's time for church now. I'll arrest it tomorrow. So, oh, he's a cop. Yeah, look.
Oh, it's a
look at the hat.
policeman
Yeah.
running away.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's an illustration of a policeman running away from an obvious dragon in the sky, and a dog and a cat running with him, and he's saying I guess it's time for church. Time for church now. I'll arrest it tomorrow. Very strange illustration. But, this was a long time ago. So this is after 1873 because there is one report in this article about 1873 being a previous date. Old residents of South Jersey are recalling that in the winter of 1894, tracks were made by an unknown beast in the vicinity of Point Leeds, and the creature became famous as the, quote, Point Leeds Devil. There was a similar incident near Bridgeton in 1873. So this was somewhere around 1894, this article. Yeah, it's cool. I love this story, man. I really do. Because some of the podcasts that I listen to, the paranormal stuff, I've listened to whole episodes just about this. Not about the Jersey Devil. I feel like these are connected because the newspaper article says it's connected. It's right about the time the sightings of the Jersey Devil pick up, and it's a nice correlation between the story of the Jersey Devil and this weird story of hoofprints being found all over town.
Yeah, and it's in the area for the Leeds family,
Mm-hmm.
And Mrs. Leeds is supposed to be the progenitor of all this in the first place. So
Yeah, I think there was more the story about this town where the hoofprints were found. Something about maybe the pastor making a deal with the devil, and like he showed up in the church and said that I will come to this town once a year for the next 1,000 years and terrorize you all, something like that. Like the church darkened and all sorts of crazy shit. The stranger walked in. Yeah, it's a wild little story, but I feel like this is connected to the Jersey Devil.
yeah,
So continuing on. We were down to the newspaper clipping. The Jersey Devil's fame solidified itself in January of 1909 when nearly 1,000 reports came in from eyewitnesses throughout South Jersey. While this group of people were testing cannonballs at Hanover Mills in the Pine Barrens, Navy Commander Stephen Decatur reportedly saw the creature and shot it with a fucking cannon. Kudos to this guy. I don't know if you... I don't...
Also, great aim, homie.
That's what I'm getting at. Jesus Christ.
Great aim.
We've been firing cannonballs for years, and we barely hit it half the time. If you're lucky, the law of odds and ratios says that eventually you're going to hit your target. This guy fired one shot and nailed the Jersey Devil with a cannonball. solid ball of steel, this big. Think about that
And
for a
then-
minute.
Then did they go and try to find it?
All right, let's see what it says. The cannonball blew a hole in the devil, but it wasn't phased by the projectile. Soon after, strange tracks were found in the fields, but bloodhounds were allegedly refused to follow the tracks. And it became so serious and worrisome, the residents that it became so serious and worrisome for the residents that they closed schools in the area for a short time.
Curiouser and curiouser.
You got to say that while you're.
Curiouser and curiouser.
What was that from? Lord of the Rings?
I don't remember.
I think it was Lord of the Rings.
I don't know.
I say that all the
I
time.
prefer to misquote things and mostly cite things that are not from the thing.
That
they're
was
from.
from The Wizard of Oz.
It was definitely the Wizard of Oz.
Curiouser and curiouser, right before she clicked her heels and flew away in a cloud of green smoke. Right? Isn't that what happened? Something like that?
Yeah, it's pretty much
In a
what
nutshell. This is the nutshell, and this is my story inside of it.
happened.
All right. So now we're getting into. I have a small list of sightings throughout the years, and these were the most well documented. They're paraphrased. They're quickly thrown together. I'm just throwing some information out there. We're going to see what sticks. So our first one we got here is the Salem cab attack in 1927. The Jersey Devil fad died out for a while until 1927 when a taxi driver in Salem City allegedly encountered the Jersey Devil while changing a tire. The man told police that a winged creature was pounding on the roof of the cab. Guess the Jersey Devil really needed a ride that night. Shitty joke in my editing. So, sorry, I try to cut those out because I know they're not good.
it was good. It was worth it.
So think about that for a second. 1927, dude's changing a tire. Fucking thing lands on top of his cab, starts beating on the top. Double hands like this, like a machine. Do. And that's all he says. It scared me.
Was there damage to the cab?
See, that's the thing. Lots of reports of spooky shit happening, but not a lot of solid evidence. But
I mean,
that's why we
the
talk.
police weren't
Go ahead.
doing a lot of weren't doing much in the way of investigation.
Yeah,
then.
they were still walking the streets, swinging a billy club in the 20s.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah. Not a lot of. No investigation.
they didn't know what that word meant. I'm sure in 1927.
That's not how they solved crimes. Then.
No,
Yeah.
they usually just found the least white person in the area and said he's the one that did it, and went over and beat him up for a little while. And yeah,
And this one, they figured it's a cab. We don't really. It's at night. We don't really feel like it.
I don't know about you, but if something started pounding on the roof of my cab while I was changing a tire, probably would have fell off the jack and crushed my legs.
Right. Right.
I feel like there could be more to that story. From the 20s, we should have better documentation.
Yeah, I mean, like, at least, like, reported to the police and scratches found on the cab or so. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something.
I mean, there was photography in 1927. Take a fucking picture, bro.
Or a sketch. I mean, they got other stories with sketches, of what was, like the damage or the fire or whatever for the newspaper. But, all right, well,
So far, this is our.
we have what we have.
This is our most solid piece of evidence. A newspaper.
We have what we have.
A newspaper clipping of a cop, a cat, and a dog running away from a dragon. Yes, America. So after the Jersey Devil sightings were reported in 1960, wealthy merchants offered up to $250,000 reward for the capture of the beast. And I'm going to show you our next piece of evidence on file.
Capture or kill?
Capture.
Ah, they wanted a sideshow act.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
They wanted a thing. a thing to put out a. Oh, hey, that's a fun drawing.
So this
I mean,
is a recreation, of course. I don't think any of the actual, like, I think there was a shitty version of this in a newspaper somewhere, but nobody has the newspaper clipping anymore, of course.
Of course.
Can you read that? You need me to zoom in?
Let me just change my view here. Reward $100,000. That would have been so much then. For the capture of the Jersey Devil, which they're now calling it the Jersey Devil instead of the Leeds Devil.
Here, let me zoom in so I can read this part.
The creature has been reported as kangaroo-like, with the complexion of a horse, large bat-like wings, the head of a dachshund, okay, short arms with cloven hooves, goat-like horns, and a long forked tail. This creature is said to live near boggy woodlands in the southern New Jersey Pine Barrens. Keep all pets indoors until further notice. Use caution when nearing this creature.
So
I mean, that is a fun drawing.
it is. So what is this? What do they call these? Wood cuttings.
Yeah.
No, wood cutting
Yeah.
would have been medieval times. So this would have been a print.
Yeah, it looks like a block print though.
That-
Yeah, like not a typeset thing. It looks like a block print. It is. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. It's more comical than scary.
Yeah.
This particular picture, because they definitely made it. They definitely tried to make it look like something that could exist.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like torso is sort of the proportions of like a greyhound, like where they're super skinny at the waist and like a deep chest. And then it has a neck sort of like a stunted giraffe. And its ear, like they didn't really picture the horns in this, but its ears sort of look like little teddy bear ears.
That's exactly what it is.
Right?
Yeah.
And its face is, so I see what they mean by like horse/dog face. So it's got a horse-like skull, but the end of it, the nose
Yeah.
and the mouth part are dog-like, but it's elongated and up. You know, the nose meets the top of the head like a horse. And then it's got the bat wings.
It's got
and
tiny
then
little
its back leg.
It's got T-Rex arms.
Yeah, its front legs, while they have hooves on them, are like T-Rex arms. They're little tiny like T-Rex horse arms. But then its back legs are kind of like stork legs. With the forked tail is not like the spade-shaped like devil tail in the cartoons. It's like literally like three-pointed tail, like a kind of like a pitchfork, I guess, sort of. More like the one of the Ninja Turtle weapons, the little three-pointed weapon the dude had.
Yeah, the size.
Yeah, the size. And then it's got big, oversized hooves at the end of these stork legs.
It looks almost comical. As skinny as the legs are.
I mean,
with these big old
very
legs.
Yeah, and there's nothing pointy on it, and its mouth looks like something that grazes grass. So like, there's nothing about it that you'd be like, "Oh my god, I should run." Other than, this. If I saw this walk out of the woods, yeah, I'd be creeped out because I'd feel like, how does it exist? But also, I would definitely have a lot of like, what the fuck, as opposed to, oh my god. It's definitely more of a like a what the fuck.
The least intimidating of the cryptids. Like, you could just walk up and shove this thing one time, and it would just go. "Whoa."
Yeah, I feel like its
then-
legs would break or it'd fall over, and then I don't know how it would get up based on those proportions.
That's all you'd have to do. Is that's how you beat the Jersey Devil. You push him over, because then he can't get up. He would just lay there on the ground.
Just spin kick it in the knee.
Help me! Help me!
I feel like it'd be a lot of floundering around. Like, this has to be a creature that never gets to lay down, because then what?
You can't get up.
Because then it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. The only reason it's lasted this long, it's just stayed on its feet for 300 years.
Always thinking on its feet. Yeah, it's
that's where the figure of
yeah.
speech came from. The Jersey Devil.
There you go.
Investigative
it's-
discoveries.
It's a very good draw. I mean, the drawing makes you think like it's a thing that somebody saw, right? Because they definitely tried to make it look like something that could exist, as opposed to like this horned devil, like long fanged, like crazy demon monster. Like, this looks like a thing. Though it's hard to look at it, like if you're thinking, as far as, if you're gonna take cryptozoology as like a study of animals we haven't found, right? Like, it's still got to be influenced by evolution, right? So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, what are any of these things an advantage for?
I know. It's like they put a bunch of pieces of weird animals together. I feel like maybe they just made a bunch of dice with animal parts on it and
just rolled them.
blah. The Jersey Devil, we've made him.
I mean, because on the other hand, so if you took the wings away, it could almost be like a single-born deformity of an animal.
You take the wings away, it almost looks like a kangaroo.
Right, a kangaroo.
Maybe
or
standing,
like,
with its legs fully extended.
Right, yeah, because they have that same sort of like face. Like kangaroos look like in the face. If you take a picture of it next to a deer, like a kangaroo looks like a deer that did time. Like it's all it's like jacked up and like moody.
Oh my god, I'm scared to death of kangaroos. Those things are so strong.
Yeah, I mean they have like all the ripped up muscles and stuff on them. I mean,
dude.
this kind of. So this kind of, I mean, it does kind of look kangaroo-ish, which makes me wonder, like, would a kangaroo have gotten loose? Also, though, then, how did somebody get in their head the wing thing? I don't know.
I think...
And also, would anybody in America have had any exposure to a picture of a kangaroo by then?
I think this was their idea of what a kangaroo looked like. Hold on. Just a little... I want to Google something right quick. You know what? I don't need.
Do kangaroos have bat wings?
I don't need to Google it. Okay, you caught me.
What species of kangaroo has bat wings?
So interestingly, the word kangaroo. The first, I think he was someone from Europe. I forget the name of the explorer. The first one to come to Australia and discover it. He had learned some of the native language, and he was speaking to the Aboriginals there, and he saw a kangaroo, and he was trying to he's like, what's the name of that? And they would be like, oh, it's a, insert Aboriginal word for tree. That's a tree. What's that? And insert Aboriginal word for a bush. And he saw a kangaroo, and he says, what's that? And the Aboriginal said, kangaroo. We'll come to find out the word kangaroo in Aboriginal means I don't know.
That's funny. I don't know, because he was just taking whatever they said.
Yeah,
yeah.
Funny. It was. I just recently, because do you remember I used to have those books, the books of completely useless information.
Yeah,
I have the whole series now. So this is my life. This is what I've become. But I was in there, so it's a nice little tidbit. But it's a weird creature, and I'm gonna say, if it were me illustrating this, I wouldn't have illustrated the wings like that. Because if you think about it, I get it. They flatten the image. It makes one wing look like it's coming out of the front and one wing coming out of the back.
I mean, they put the animal's body in, like, its torso's in like 3/4 perspective, right? So it's slightly tilted towards you, so you can see it has 2 legs. 2 front legs and 2 bottom legs, but the torso is in profile and the head is mostly in profile, but then the wings are in like straight on view. They're in like portrait. I'm guessing. I'm guessing. Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing somebody didn't say, yeah, it had a wing coming out of its back and one coming out of its chest. I'm sure that they did it so that you'd see it, because the woodcut's not super detailed. I mean, it's got a lot of detail, but a woodcut itself has limits. There's not really shading. It's either black or it's white.
I mean,
so
layer them.
Yeah, I think they're
illustrations.
Also, maybe they weren't paying a lot for artists.
Weren't we getting paintings of like cats with human faces at this time?
Probably.
Go down that rabbit hole. You'll have fun with it.
Oh no. No.
Almost as bad as that lady who tried to fix the fresco that she discovered with the portrait of Jesus on it.
What?
Have you not seen that? Oh my God. Oh Jesus.
She tried to fix the face.
I'm just gonna pull it up on my phone because I don't want to mess with all the windows.
Where'd she find the fresco? Like, what wall was it on?
I'm just gonna go. Oh, it's an NPR article. Good deal. I have the app. Spanish woman who really messed up when she tried to restore a 19th century fresco of Jesus. Oh my God. She attempted to restore the fresco. The image was being likened to a werewolf, but news reports in recent weeks have shown her work as some fans, such as the online blah 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 blah, as a detestable depiction of Jesus. Let me show you the picture. I'm really happy that opened in the NPR app. I'm glad I downloaded that.
As a werewolf? Oh no. Oh, dude, no. It's so bad. It's so bad. It looks like it looks kind of like
So this
an
is
Eskimo.
there's a progression.
Jeez.
It got so bad.
Oh my god.
They must have hired this lady to do this picture of the Jersey Devil.
Perspectives all, yeah, that face, the head's going one way, the face is going the wrong way, like, oh my god. Oh my god. So
She wanted,
it's so bad.
and she asked to get paid for this.
Oh,
She said she wanted 2,000 euros for restoring the portrait.
wow. That's fun.
Yeah, so kudos on you, lady. Good job.
Hey, the balls on that lady.
Hey,
Like, yeah, that'll be $2,000. I destroyed your fresco. That'll be $2,000.
that'll be $2,000. Thank you very much.
That's a discount.
That's it. Would you want?
Recommend me to your friends.
You want to give me some sass? Then it's 5,000 euros.
You own a villa with a fresco. Tell all your rich friends. I'll restore theirs too.
No big deal. Pull a line from Animal Crossing. You get the cousin rate. Animal Crossing fans, rejoice. You know nothing about what I'm talking about, do you?
No, I don't. I haven't watched it.
Oh, no, it's a game, dude.
Then I obviously haven't played it.
Wow. You need to
Because I thought it was a show.
you need to get it, man. Animal Crossing is the best. So I bought my wife a Switch after we lost our dog.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, she needs something to keep her mind off of things.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I can only do so much. I work nights, so it's hard for her to do what she needs to do. So I researched and found this game. I was like, Animal Crossing is really popular. So I bought her Animal Crossing. And then she started playing it. And then I'd be like sitting in bed playing on my laptop. And
You're looking over.
and just start watching. And, I'm like sitting there getting just killed in Call of Duty.
Watching Animal Crossing.
So like,
That's so funny.
like 2 weeks later, I bought one for myself. And then I bought Animal Crossing
Switch?
for myself. Yeah.
Just to get Animal
Yeah.
Crossing.
So now we both play.
That's
Every day
funny.
we play together, sit in bed. It's a blast.
Hey, well, since you have a Switch, just so you're aware, I have Minecraft.
Excuse me. Sorry, the gag.
I have it-
The
I have
gag
it-
flex is
I-
really strong. Is really strong with.
I have it for reasons I won't go into,
Okay.
but
different strokes for different folks, buddy.
see, it's top secret reasons, but I do know that it's on almost every damn platform out there. The server that I'm on is on every damn platform out there.
The only downside is I don't have Nintendo Online, so I can't play any Switch games online.
Oh well. that would
Unless
be a
you're on
problem.
my network, that can play local play for free. But I am not.
Oh,
about to-
okay.
not about to pay to play online. But Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I have it on PC, so I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't know. Yeah.
I mean, I can get it for free. I got PC Game Pass, but I tried Minecraft. I can't do it, man. I can't.
I mean, it's tough to look at, but it's the one that I'm on. The people build some amazing stuff, and I like to go around and mess with them while they're trying to build. Like, not stop
Oh.
them, but I'll be like, "Hey, what's up? What are you doing? What's that?
I thought-
What do you? How do I do that? Because I don't know anything about this game. What's
I
up?"
thought you were gonna be like, I like to go over there and destroy what they're building.
No. They're all super nice. They're like, "Hey, if you stuff because you want to build," I'm like, I honestly am just here to like look at the stuff you guys are doing. It was like it was free, damn near. So I'm just don't mind me. I mean, if I'm in the way, just tell me. What are you building?
I cannot do it, man.
The part that drives me nuts about it is I'll be like, wait, this all does what? Like, for it being a block game,
Have you seen?
like they're building machines that like
Yeah.
auto harvest stuff. Like, I'm like, how did you?
You think that's impressive? There's a guy who built a computer inside Minecraft to run Minecraft.
God, that makes my brain hurt.
Right?
Metacraft. That makes my brain hurt. That makes my. I mean, I know you can run things as like bits basically. Anyway, the stuff people build there is unreal.
Yep.
And so this is a group of artists that I already do like a every Sunday like morning Zoom thing with. There's probably about 12 of us, and one lady's from the Netherlands, and a couple are from California, and anyway, one lady's from, I think she's Irish. Anyway, 3 of them were big Minecraft fans, and they got everybody else into it. And so a couple times a year, they start a different village somewhere, and everybody builds their own thing themed to whatever the thing is.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So right now they're working on a summer village, and dude is building the biggest fucking pirate ship all out of copper,
Oh gosh.
and it's really dope. It's square, it's blocks and shit, but it's really dope, and he's really good at. He's just really creative in Minecraft. Like,
I've tried it. I
blew
just-
my mind. I'm not creative in Minecraft, but I do love to go around and explore and whack things with a sword because it's funny. Because it's funny because they're blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just blocks. It's funny and it's mind numbing, and it's not it's not serious. Also, there's a VR port for Minecraft, which I try with my
Oculus.
Quest. So yeah, with my Oculus.
It's
So
not,
I am gonna try
It's
that.
not a Quest anymore. It's an Oculus.
It's an Oculus. I know. Whatever.
Whatever.
I'm gonna try it. So okay. So back to the thread that we've dropped on the floor.
Oh, I'll get it.
So there's a. If you pick that up and give me the other end of it, and we'll stretch it back out.
It's a sock.
There-
Sorry.
oh,
not a thread. I
a
take
funky
my
ass thread.
socks off at my desk because I run hot constantly.
So we're at the reward. We see that they offered $100,000 reward in the early to mid 1900s.
This was this was 1960 when the reward was offered.
that is unreal. Like,
So, blah blah blah. We did the reward. Mary Ritzer Christensen told Weird New Jersey that she got the heebie-jeebies. That's a direct quote. She said heebie-jeebies. One night
she would.
She would, wouldn't she? One night in 1972, when she spotted the Jersey Devil on Green Tree Road, Christensen was driving from Blackwood to Glassboro when she saw a towering figure cross the road about 25 feet behind her car. She described the figure as standing taller than the average man, with thick haunches like a goat and huge woolly head, completely unlike the picture we're showing you now. So apparently everybody has their own idea what the Jersey Devil looks like. Lots of conflicting descriptions, I'm just saying.
Oh, so $100,000 then would be, if you take into account inflation for today, would be worth about $2,343,000.
Wow.
They wanted the crap out of this thing.
Well, historically, there's lots of times where people believe that cryptids are running around, and the local governments will put up money as rewards. Like, say, for instance, when the werewolf scare was going on in England, they put up so much money to get people to go out and kill these werewolves.
Right.
That was another deep dive I went down looking for this week's episode.
Yeah, various South American countries have had out rewards for the chupacabra.
Yeah.
At various times. Because farmers were really losing a lot of livestock, but it ended up getting wolves and other endangered animals killed.
Yeah,
it never found.
It comes, sadly, one of the causes of like the werewolf scare in England and Europe was one man, where he was working up the nerve to kill people, so he was slaughtering livestock. And then once he started killing people is when he got caught.
I see.
And
well,
and then
so,
of course under torture he said, "Oh yeah, the devil gave me the power to turn into a wolf."
right.
Under torture. Good job.
Well, and in South America, it got. I mean, also deforestation did this too, but the maned wolf. You know, we talked about it, or I mentioned it in another episode, but it looks like a fox, but it has what seem like unnaturally proportioned long legs.
Oh yeah.
But it's the size of the torso body is the size of like a timber wolf, like big.
Oh yeah.
Like when you see one next to a person, the photos of them by themselves don't really do them justice. There's a picture of a lady from Argentina feeding one in a captive breeding program, and they're trying to bring it back, and it is massive.
Yeah.
It is huge and colored like a wolf, and it's got its hind legs way up and its front legs down, so it really shows you how dramatic the proportions of its legs are. And I could see how someone would be like, "Oh my god, it's a cryptid," because it looks alien. It looks like an yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's not showing it next to a person. Like that's like its back would be like up underneath your pecs. Like they're really tall. They're made for hunting in tall grassland. Like
holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a Photoshop picture. They added that lady into a different picture that you can find online. I've seen that one too. But there is one of a lady feeding one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's a big
Yeah,
sucker.
these things are huge.
Big.
Creepy.
It's like as big as a Great Dane. Like they're big.
It's
not as heavy, but they're big.
It's like the meat just doesn't grow on its legs. That's so weird.
Yes. And so people it's gotten blamed for being the chupacabra, and it may have been snapping off livestock. I mean, but it wasn't a.
It's a very elegant creature.
Wasn't an undiscovered, monster.
Very elegant. What an interesting animal.
Yeah, they're only recently back. Now they're considered. They're off the endangered species list, at least as far as Argentina and Chile are concerned. But now they're just considered a what's under endangered?
Risk at risk.
Threatened.
Oh, yeah.
Threatened or at risk. Yeah, It's a threatened species.
Yeah. So, my guess so far is a maned wolf had a baby with a bat and a horse.
To make the Jersey Devil.
Jersey Devil.
Then got imported.
The end.
Yeah, and then got imported.
Yep. And then
all
they
right.
brought
So
it to
what's our next account?
All right. So we're gonna get into some a mysterious death. Forest rangers, wildlife experts in wildlife habits of the woods. In 1980, at Wharton State Forest, Chief Ranger Alan McFarland saw something that both grossed him out and stumped his wild animal knowledge. A brutal scene on South Jersey farm where a pack of pigs had been killed. He reported that the back of their heads had been eaten while their bodies were scratched and torn. However, there were no tracks surrounding the body and no blood on the ground.
That is super weird.
Aliens. It's really
Back
weird.
of their
Back of their
head
heads? What's there to eat on the back of the head?
Well, and it's also like one of the hardest spots, thickest parts on a pig is the back, their skull.
Like I know a hyena will bite the head.
Yeah, but to eat the rest of it.
Yeah, that's what they do to kill it. I think a hyena has the jaw strength to crush a skull, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. It's
because they routinely crush femur bones and eat the marrow out of them.
strange for 1980. That's strange. And a pack of pigs.
1980.
But no blood on the ground, so figure that.
Yeah, I don't.
Aliens. Aliens.
Unless they got unless it drugged the entire pack somewhere else as they bled out and then stopped bleeding.
Into the sky, perhaps?
Yes, and dropped it somewhere after it sucked all its blood out. I don't know. Now the Jersey Devil's a vampire.
Well, he's the devil after all.
He's been around a long time.
He probably developed some other animal features. Well, he's got bat
Run
wings.
into a lot of things.
Who's to say he doesn't have bat fangs? All right. In the late 1980s, a group of friends went camping and riding dirt bikes in the Pine Barrens, and while riding down a trail about 100 yards from camp, the bikes all stalled. One said it could have something to do with terrain, nearby power plant. However, as suddenly as the bikes quit running, the men heard a piercing, inhuman scream coming from the woods. When they returned to camp, those who stayed behind said they also heard screams. And that evening, one of them went into a local bar and told the bartender about the screams in the woods. The man informed the visitor that he most likely had just had an encounter with the Jersey Devil.
So now it screams.
It screams. Or somebody was being brutally murdered. Again.
Or that.
And it is
It
is Jersey. Hey, get chat.
Hey! We'll get another one in, don't worry.
Sorry, New Jerseyans. New Jerseyites.
We'll make it 3. I'm looking for it.
All right, 19.
Yeah, don't call them Jerseyites. I don't think that.
Jerseyites?
That doesn't sound good. Yeah, I don't think it sounds good. Jerseyites. That sounds.
Gersonians?
Gersonians?
In 1993, Forest Ranger John Irwin was driving alone in the Maluka River when he saw a strange creature blocking the road ahead of him. He said it was about 6 feet tall with horns and matted black fur. The two stared at each other for several minutes before the creature turned and ran into the forest. So that was a pretty...
I mean, that sounds a little more credible.
Yeah, I like the sightings of cryptids where they see it and it stops and looks and then pew, bolts for the woods, because that's very animalistic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've lived in Arkansas long enough to know what a deer does when it gets in front of a car at night.
Right, that sounds like almost one of the most believable. I mean, the thing about the pigs, I mean, I'm sure dude really found the pigs, eaten up like that. I mean, he didn't say he saw the Jersey Devil. He just said he found something gross and weird. But that one, especially, I like the forest ranger ones because they're out there in those areas all the time.
Yeah.
So the chance that they'd run across something weird,
Oh no,
that's interesting.
let's sneeze. Excuse me. Ugh.
That sounded cool on the mic.
Thank you. I'll clip that and make that a reel for later. There you go, America. That's how I sneeze. All right, we're getting closer to the bottom here. While traveling on Route 9 in Bayville, 3 cars were forced to slam on the brakes when, according to one witness, a 10-foot tall Jersey Devil figure, yeah, way to go, with a long head, short flat ears, ran across the road. One witness reported that the creature emerged from a wooded area near a mini mall and galloped out in front of traffic, and then disappearing into the woods on the other side of the street.
I mean, so that kind of sounds a little bit like this reward poster.
Yeah.
I mean, the round flat ears and the facial features.
Mhm.
Did it say wings? Did you say wings? Or no?
Long head, short flat ears, ran across the road. For something with wings, it sure runs a lot.
Right.
Hmm.
Right. Well, and the last forest ranger just said matted fur and horns. He didn't say wings or anything. He just said it was tall as hell.
Deformed Bigfoots. That's all we got. That's what it is.
It's all the Bigfoot rejects.
Yep. All right. And our last
end up in Jersey.
Our last sighting, and this one is the most recent. Occurred in Galloway Township in October of 2015.
Oh, okay. Pretty recent.
This is in Little Egg Harbor. Resident David Black said he was driving along Route 9 near a golf course when he saw what he thought was a llama walking in and out of the tree line, which is consistent with this head shape here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And suddenly the creature spread its wings and flew away. He captured the beast's image with a cell phone, and the photo went viral. And there's one video out there, but it is laughably fake, and I will not show it. But I do have pictures of what this guy took. I say that the video was laughably fake. Bear with me on this one, okay? It's not great. These aren't great. This is what we got.
Oh, so, I mean, it looks like a stuffed animal.
It does. It's not great.
Mostly because I mean,
So this
I
is
mean, it makes you start to think we're actually looking for Pegasus.
yeah.
I mean, some of these accounts, like a long-necked Pegasus or a llama with wings. The llama is probably the closest thing to a lot of these descriptions.
This is the most cartoonish.
Yeah, this is not credible, I don't think.
No,
But
it's
uh,
horribly pixelated, which means it's been downloaded and re-uploaded 1,000 times.
mhm.
Let me zoom out to the correct aspect ratio. So, that's in. So probably something like that.
It's a thumbnail. Yeah, it's a thumbnail.
That is the size of the photo taken in 2015.
Yeah, it's not great. So I guess, I'm starting to wonder if, it'd be interesting to know if all these people are like have always lived in New Jersey, like a lot of these accounts. Because here's what I wonder. I wonder if, the early accounts and how long this has been a thing, right, in the area, and kind of bubbles back up generation to generation.
Right.
It makes me wonder if just anytime somebody sees something weird or they see something that's really quick and their brain processes it funny, if they're like, oh, Jersey Devil, right?
Right.
Because I've seen stuff. I've seen stuff in the woods, right, where I thought it looked like something, and then it turned out to be a funny way a tree sat, but scared the shit out of me until I managed to find a light or realized that while I was sitting there being completely still, it also was unnaturally still, and then circled around and it changed shape and wasn't a shape at all. It was just a tree with a weird berm behind it or something. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I wonder if because there's already this lore in the area, if it's easier for people to jump to it's something. Whereas when I see something in woods that like at dusk that's hard to make out, I don't jump to, oh, it's some sort of a monster, because we don't have any lore like that here in Northwest Arkansas, or at least none that I know of, because I moved here in like 2000. So
I think there is one, but it's
Is
not. No, I think it's like Southern Arkansas.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say up here. I mean, most everybody's transplants at this time anyway, or by this time.
I know there's like central to Southern Arkansas. There's Bigfoot lore over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's.
I thought that was a mostly like Pacific Northwest thing.
So remember when I was doing traffic control, I would have to travel a lot, and I did a job out in the middle of nowhere. I couldn't take you there today. I don't know where it's at, but I remember it was a little bitty town with maybe like 5 businesses, and then the rest is just sparse houses. Like
it's like everywhere in South Arkansas.
Yeah. And all of the businesses were selling like silhouette plywood cutouts of Bigfoot, and they would be like, Bigfoot souvenirs here, Bigfoot souvenirs here, or like a giant tree carved into a Bigfoot statue, whatever. And stuff was everywhere. It was I asked about it, and they said, yeah, we have sightings all the time. People see it. Oh yeah, let me tell you, I had something happen there. So for those that don't know, traffic control, I work traffic control, which means if they're going to do construction on the roads, they need those bright orange signs that say like road work ahead or lane closed, whatever. There's a standard that we had to follow when we had to set up these signs. So what we would do is we would get hired before the job started to put these signs up. So we have these big steel posts that had to drive in the ground, then we had to put these signs up on these posts. The ones that magically appear overnight. That was me.
Okay.
So we were getting down to the last couple, and I noticed that excuse me, I'm very phlegmy. I noticed that there was a smell of something dead. I was like, oh, somebody hit a deer. And I was looking around, because when you live in Arkansas, you see a dead deer, if it's decayed enough, grab its head, throw it on the bed of the truck, take it home. Let's hang the deer skull on your door or whatever.
Right.
So I was looking for the dead deer, because I was like, cool, I'm gonna throw the head in the bed of the truck, take it home. And looking around, I couldn't find it, but I kept smelling it, and got to the last sign, and we're strapping everything down. And I was, at the time I was running my own crew, and so it was me and three other guys. And I was like, gosh, it's so quiet out here. I said, it's really weird. I was like, we don't see any cars, nothing the whole time we were out there. We were out there for like 6 hours. It's like, we didn't see any cars. And we're standing in the spot where the smell of something dead was. And I'm just like, it's really quiet. And, I told my guys, I was like, strap everything down in the trailer. Let's get ready to go. So they're doing, ratchet straps. So you hear strapping stuff down. And I'm at the front of the truck, still kind of looking in the tree line. And I shit you not, I heard from the trees. Yes. A loud.
How far away were you from the trees?
Maybe 20 feet.
Oh, okay.
Scared the living shit out of me. I turned around and my guys were at the trailer. They all stopped because they heard it. I was like, did you guys hear that? They said, the guy's sighing? I was like, yeah. And we're looking around. It was starting to get dark. I was like, fuck that shit. Get in the truck. We're getting the hell out of here. Scared the living shit out of me. It was so fucking clear. It was like dude was standing next to me.
Dude.
Loud sigh. Oh my gosh, dude. Scared the hell out of me. And that was the Bigfoot country. I mean.
Okay. I seem to remember you told me about that.
Yeah, man. It spooked me.
I feel like you told me about
spooked
that.
me to the fucking core, man. I'll never forget that shit.
I didn't remember that it was a Bigfoot town, but.
I mean, if I had to guess, I would say it probably wasn't a Bigfoot. I mean.
Oh no, it's probably the local serial killer.
Oh,
but
well, that's fine. I'm getting tired of us. Come on, get out of here.
Trying to. God,
I'm going to cut this body up.
Trying to do my damn job.
He's over in the bushes, halfway through sawing through a leg.
Can't a man have a damn hobby? Jeez.
Well, I'll never forget that.
Much to do out here.
I'll never forget it till the day I die, man. It was so fucking scary. So fucking scary. Because it was just, the tree line was just dense enough you couldn't see but a couple feet into the trees. Because for those that don't know, in Arkansas, if you're on like these highways that are isolated out in the middle of nowhere, it's a 2-lane highway and the only thing on either side is trees. And that's it. And it is dense forest.
For like 1,000 hectares in any direction. Like it's dense forest, especially, and a lot of it got logged 80, 100 years ago, so there's tons of undergrowth, so it'd be even hard to try to go hike through it. It's not like big several 100-year-old forest where there's no undergrowth and you can see through the trees. It would be tough country to try to
briars and bramble and lots of thorns over there. But it was just, man, it was clear as day. It was like dude was right next to me inside. Because I stopped and I looked over my guys. I was about to ask them if they made that sound, but they were looking. They were all three of them stopped and they were looking at the tree line too because they heard it. It was so fucking spooky, man. Spooky. I'm telling you, man, that shit rocked me to the fucking core. I'll never forget that shit. Never. It was fucking wild. But speaking of fucking wild, I got one more picture.
Okay.
Hey.
Is this a good one?
Depends on your definition of good.
Says everything. Oh no, it's worse. I mean, I guess they did better with the stuffed animal, but
yeah, there's depth to this one.
Yeah, its legs don't look like Snoopy's paws.
I hate to say it, but he might have his hammer swinging. It's not. I mean, so the funny thing is, if you take away the wings, it looks like one of those tiny deer. Yeah. Those pygmy deer. Yeah. Little bitty deer. It looks like one of those, except for the part where it's flying through the air. It looks like a goat.
But its wings. Yeah, but its wings look like those cheap costume wings you get for like an 8-year-old for Halloween. Like they're just bent over wire and they're too round. There's no joint
Yeah.
where there should be a bending joint for the flapping. Like it's just a rounded wire. Yeah, this is
So
it's got sort of a griffin hooked beak nose thing going on, or beard.
it's like they took a stuffed animal and then taped cartoon wings on it.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's like they blurred it so you wouldn't see the fishing line it's hanging from.
Yeah, I couldn't track down much information about this picture. It's not great, man. It's not great.
It's bad. I mean, in this whole thing, there's no real. I mean, it's a long perpetuated story with like zero evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Other than, a lot of, it ends up in the paper a lot. A lot of people seem to believe it. Many more, at least locally, than like Bigfoot. Right? It's almost like a regional belief.
Yeah.
Right in that area. Like a lot of people will be like, "Oh yeah, no, it's definitely." I mean, it's definitely there. I mean, they even named their hockey team. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's such an idea meme that it persists. But which is interesting. That's why I say, like, I wonder if it's because it goes so far back. Because it's not like there's compelling evidence to keep this thing going.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You just have a lot of anecdotal accounts of people that I think already might have it in their mind to try to, and then they see something weird and automatically it's Jersey Devil.
Yeah, that's why. It's another reason why I didn't choose to do like Mothman. I love the idea of Mothman. I live in Virginia. It's near and dear to me. I want to go and visit the statue, but I looked at the research and I looked at what evidence was available. I was like, there's no evidence to prove this thing was real other than a handful of eyewitnesses that said he was around the bridge the night it collapsed.
Right.
And there's one witness who said they saw him on 9/11 at the Twin Towers.
Oh, that kind of puts a even worse
Yeah.
cheese factor on the story.
So,
Because he just likes to make things collapse.
well, no, the thing is he's the precursor to the eventual disaster. So my thing is he knew the bridge was going to collapse, and he showed up. He knew 9/11 was going to happen, and he didn't say anything. You fucking asshole!
Yeah, what a jerk.
What a fucking jerk wagon. Sorry, Americans.
He's like, I just come to stand menacingly, broodingly over the disaster.
Perched on the corner of a tall building like Batman.
Right.
Yep, there it is.
I am Mothman.
I am Mothman. I am Mothman.
I am Mothman.
I am Mothman. Always grimacing. Always has a scowl on his face.
Like he's angry and constipated at the same time.
I am the night. I am darkness. I am Mothman. Or is always doing. What year was that? Where the Batman was always doing the. You know you are. What Batman?
I don't know.
It wasn't. Not Val Kilmer.
The other one-time Batman?
No, not Beetlejuice guy. After that.
Oh, that's who I was thinking. Clooney?
No, not Clooney. Damn, Clooney was Batman, wasn't he?
Clooney was Batman with nipples. He was the Batman costume with areolas and nipple titties, nipple tips. Yeah, and so did Robin. They just really went.
Oh, jeez, who
all
was
out
the?
on that one.
Now I want to know because I watch these all the time. Batman actors. Christian Bale.
I
That's
saw
it. Yeah, he was always
Christian
doing,
Bale.
always sticking his lips
yeah.
out.
I was thinking older Batman.
to protect citizens of safe. Lots of duck face.
Yeah, I did see a meme that had a picture of the Clooney batsuit like in a museum, and it said "Nipple Batman just hits different," or the nipple batsuit just hits different, or something like that. I was like, oh my god, because I had forgotten like for after watching it when it came out. Like whenever I saw it again, I was like, oh, that's right. He had full on areolas and
oh, it's too
nipples.
bright. I can't show you. There's a bunch of people.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Christian Bale was
A bunch of people took
I do.
screenshots of him doing
His
the.
big in the face. Yeah.
It's like his mask was too tight. Yeah, it's just like his mask was too tight, man. That's bad. Ew. Oh, jeez. Yeah, his mask was way too tight. They needed to loosen that thing up a little bit. Dude's lips were always sticking out.
Oh, he had the short lip, like he'd had some facial surgery.
It's like the.
He had too much filler. Yeah. He had the upper Kardashian lip.
To give you an idea, I googled Batman duckface. Because that's what it was. It was Batman with duckface.
Yeah.
It was so bad. But we're not going to talk about. Oh jeez, what was the? Shame on me. What's the guy from Beetlejuice?
I'm drawing.
I watched it the other day.
Didn't Tim Burton also do that
Yes.
movie of Batman? Okay, that's what I thought. That's why he got him to do him as Batman. The actor whose name we should know in our failing pop culture.
Michael Keaton. Jesus fucking
Michael
Christ.
Keaton. There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Michael Keaton was the stiff neck Batman.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Where they made the headpiece and the shoulder piece one giant fucking piece. Hark. Villains.
I failed American pop culture in college.
Sad thing is I watched that last weekend.
Did you?
Yes. Shame on me. And I watched Beetlejuice last weekend. Also shame on me.
I really liked my of all the Bat movies, in the Michael Keaton one, Penguin, the Imagining of Penguin.
Oh yeah,
I just really loved it. Yeah, because it was
Danny DeVito.
Yeah, but they made the character both like repulsive and like endearing. I don't know, it was weird.
Yeah.
It was super weird. Like he was vile and endearing at the same time. It was
Always eating raw fish, the black goo dripping from his face. That was great.
And his swirly umbrella, like it was good. I saw they're putting out it's either a movie or a series that's just Penguin, but it's like they're going with the super realism, like Christian Bale type thing.
Okay.
Where he's just a fat guy and kind of a hangy face, but they're not doing any crazy makeup on him. He's just a thug.
Unpopular.
A thug trying to get back at the Marconi family.
Unpopular opinion. I really like the Jared Leto Joker.
Oh, it was a great Joker. That's unpopular opinion?
Yes. A lot of people were really, Heath Ledger. He took the legacy with him.
Heath Ledger was amazing.
He was amazing, don't get me wrong.
He was amazing, but the Jared Leto, that was in
that was the newest one. Well, no. Yeah.
No, it was in
It was a Christian. No, not a Christian Bale. Yeah, it was a
No,
Christian
Jared
Bale.
Leto. Jared Leto was in the Suicide Squad as Joker.
Wasn't he in a Batman? When did Jared Leto play Joker?
Because he was definitely in there as Joker in
Yeah, he was Joker in Suicide Squad. I'm sorry. Shame on me.
Yeah.
I watched that movie a bunch too.
Yeah, he was. I liked it. He was the like gangster Joker.
Yeah.
Like it was cool.
Some
it
things
was cool.
need,
Also,
some things need to evolve with the times, and I think that evolution of Joker was excellent.
Also, given how long the Joker character persists, right? He really is a gangster. He's not like a schizophrenic thug. Like he persists for a long time. He's like in the underworld of Gotham, right? So like him as this like respected gangster that's also known for like might just cut your throat for saying something off or not laughing at a joke. Like it came across that way. Also, he came across as pretty menacing. I mean, weird.
The face tattoos, the grill,
but menacing. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I loved Jared Leto in that movie. It was great.
It was
Absolutely.
good. I thought his Lamborghini was hilarious.
Oh, that was great. Yeah.
The lit up like underglow and
Yeah.
inglow like Lamborghini. Yeah, it was funny.
It was
I
good.
liked it.
And then, I mean, I'm just gonna say, while we're on the subject, there's another Joker movie coming out with Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh yes, I saw I saw it come across
So good.
it somewhere, but yeah, it I haven't seen it, but is it coming out or is it coming?
It's coming out.
It's coming
Yeah,
out.
they're
Okay.
filming
I'll watch.
now. It's good. I love it.
Joaquin Phoenix is always good.
Stellar performance of Joker.
One of my favorite movies of his is Last of the Buffalo. I think it's just called Buffalo Soldiers.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's really a reference to
The African American soldiers during Civil War.
yeah, during the Civil War, but he's like he's a white guy in Germany during peacetime in the Cold War.
Nothing to do with Civil War or
Yeah.
African Americans.
whose specialty is cooking down stolen morphine, stolen government morphine, cooking it down into heroin,
Oh, nice.
and selling it on the base. And it's the middle of the 80s, so like everybody's got a heroin problem too.
Oh, the 80s.
And yeah, and so that's what it all centers around. But yeah, it's the role that he plays is just phenomenal. It's so good.
Oh yeah, there's a nice little side note on Joaquin Phoenix. His brother River Phoenix is known to haunt the bar that he was shot in front of.
What? Really?
Yeah.
In what way?
He
Haunted in what way?
like they've gotten EVPs.
Oh, really?
Like they'd go around and ask who's in the room with me, and they would get the clear name River,
Okay.
which is a unique name in itself. So I don't know how you'd screw that up.
Why did he get shot?
Wait, did he get shot or did he overdose?
I thought he overdosed.
Hey Google,
I thought he overdosed the VIP.
how did
room.
River Phoenix die? Overdose, yeah. Oh, cool. They showed a
Yeah,
picture. Cool.
I thought he overdosed after a particularly long night of
Yeah,
rabble rousing.
but he died in front of the bar.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
think what I'm getting mixed up is it was like a gangster spot in the 40s, and there were bullet holes in the wall. But,
Oh,
but yes,
okay.
he's known to haunt that bar because it was one of his favorite places. I guess. And yeah,
Oh, okay.
lots of EVPs out there. People talking to him.
Yeah, I don't think I want to stick. I can't think of anywhere I really want to stick around and like haunt.
Yeah.
Sounds not super fun. Although I guess maybe they don't choose that. But yeah, I don't think there's anywhere I'm attached to enough to be like, I'm gonna ooga booga everybody here for the next 100 years.
I'm gonna haunt anywhere. It's gonna be an arcade, and I'm just gonna play all the games.
Mess with people's scores.
Oh no, I'm gonna help them. I'm gonna be the Casper friendly ghost.
I'd wait for the dude that takes it way too seriously and eat his quarters.
Oh.
Puts it in the machine, nothing happens.
Get the
Scores, his score goes down.
Oh no.
And then the little 10-year-old that comes in has never played, puts in a quarter,
Hits the
gets
world
a million
record.
points.
Yeah.
Gets a million points just by punch and start. Skip to the last level. You win, kid.
Yay. All right, so let's come down on a verdict about this.
Okay.
Man, I want to believe this. I really do. It's very deeply seated in folklore. It really is. It's a great story. It has some foundation, as opposed to, like, say, Mothman just has a handful of sightings. This one's got a bunch of sightings. More than I could put into this podcast for one episode. But we're presented with evidence like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really difficult to take things seriously when you've got a stuffed animal with, freaking Halloween store bat wings on its back as evidence. So I'm gonna have to call it some bullshit, dude. I want to believe. I want to believe. That's a poster we need for back here.
So I had all kinds of visions of what this thing was supposed to look like because, like I said, I didn't really know much about it other than I've heard of it, But it's it's disappointing because it's probably one of the oldest,
Oh yeah.
you know, other than like you know, tribal or aboriginal stories of, you know, or Native American stories of things like, you know, like skinwalkers and stuff like that.
Don't get me
There's
started on
not
Skinwalker Ranch.
well, I'm saying this is probably the oldest
Right.
Americans
Yeah, I think the only one that's
post
older.
colonization.
I think the only one that's older is Champlain.
I don't know that one.
Champ. It's a Loch Ness monster-like creature in Lake Champlain.
Oh yeah, no, I have heard of that. Yeah, and they still have stuffed animals at Champ.
Yeah.
So I like it because it's so old, which makes you want to feel like, oh, well, it persists for a reason. But I'm gonna be really honest. I don't see anything here that makes me feel like it should be persisting, and makes me feel like it's just something with New Jersey.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
There, I got it in number 3.
Ding.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to call it bullshit. There's nothing in here that makes me want to go tell someone, be like, no, but have you really read about the Jersey Devil? Like, there's nothing in here that makes me want to do that. I would feel
It's
silly.
good storytelling, but it comes down to, you're right, it's just folklore. It's a great story.
Honestly, the coolest stuff are the oldest stuff.
Yeah. This new
In this.
this
yeah.
this shit are fucking stuffed animal with bat wings on it.
Yeah.
This ain't gonna cut it, people. Come on.
Everything before they offered a reward is interesting, and
This is great.
and actually seems like people not trying to make something up. They're actually scared of something.
Yeah.
The stuff later, I mean, other than maybe the forestry guys, the forestry service guys. I mean, those are cool accounts, but again, I mean, it's just what some dude said, and you know, I mean, I don't know the guy, so I'm not inclined to believe or disbelieve that he said it, but it doesn't help me believe the story.
Right.
But you know, like the guy saying he saw something tall and hairy and it stared at him and walked away. I mean, that sounds more like a realistic account of an odd, you know, undiscovered animal.
Mm-hmm.
Like that sounds like something, but mostly because it sounds believable. It's not like, oh, it took flight, or you know, it turned to me and hit me with its laser eyes. Like, you know, it's you know, but also because it's so, yeah, exactly, because it's so animal like, and it was dark and it was his headlights. I also feel like maybe he just didn't see it very well.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I had bad eyesight, dirty window, been up all night. I mean, you know, that doesn't really help the case at all. So yeah, I'm gonna have to call it shit too.
That is unfortunate.
I'm glad Jersey's got something to believe in.
That's number 4.
But I don't.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I'm sorry, everybody. We're gonna have later on. You know,
We're gonna get lots
if
of
the
hate
show
mail
picks
from
up
people.
traction and people go back, 2 years from now we'll get our first hate mail from New Jersey.
A guy from Jersey is gonna listen to this and be like, "What the fuck is this?" Well,
I'm gonna light them dudes up.
I'm thinking
Just
of
be
it.
like, wait. I'm gonna be like, man, I'm just glad you're listening to 2-year-old episodes, man. I agree with you. We're awful.
I'm thinking of that Joe Pesci meme from Casino where he's standing there. What the fuck is this piece of shit? Love Joe Pesci. Love that movie, Casino. Seen it 1,000,000 times. I'll watch it 1,000,000 more.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm gonna be like, oh no, man. No, you're right. We're terrible. I'm crying right now because you listened to an episode that's so old. I'm just so thrilled.
And again, I will flash it on the screen now. For me, post editor. Sorry, state is New Jersey a state? Yeah, it's a state.
Yeah, it's a state.
Sorry, state of New Jersey, that we know so little about you, and our preconceived ideas are only shitty stuff.
All based on terrible shows.
Yeah,
all based on terrible shows and movies.
Sorry, y'all. Don't hate our fucking podcast.
And everything every comedian's ever said about New Jersey.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll take that. But if you do hate us enough, email us at beyondshadowspodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. If you get an idea for another episode, let us know. I've actually taken the time to type up all this information now, so that way I don't have to be like, wait a second, what's our email?
We're getting professional.
We're getting there. Yeah. Now that I have
We're
this
getting
typed up, I can just copy and paste into the show notes. But
so, Do you already have an idea since we missed last week for the holiday? Do you already have an idea of what you want to do next week?
Well, two things came to mind while we were talking in this episode. One is we could either do a ghost issue or a ghost episode with EVPs, or just do an episode on EVPs.
Ooh, let's do an episode on EVPs, because the only one you've played for me was the one with the Lorraine and, or no, not then the
It was the rapid fire episode with the kid leaving the kitchen.
Yeah. So, but you said there's some really good stuff out there.
Oh man,
with EVPs. So I want to hear some EVPs that'll make my skin crawl.
I'm getting people bumps right now just thinking about it.
Okay, let's do some good EVP stuff next week, and we'll do that. And we'll circle back around to some UFO stuff too later. I do want eventually, because I did ask, when I was little, I can still remember my dad mentioning, I don't remember if it's because we were watching a show or something came up, but my dad mentioned, he's like, just like real matter of fact, he's like, oh yeah, no, I saw a UFO once. And I was like, like in, like across the sky. He's like, oh no, in my backyard. So he's got a whole story.
Yeah, we need to get that.
He has a whole clear description and everything. Now, no pictures or anything. He was a kid, and I think he was at his aunt and uncle's house, if I remember right. But he lived in Jacksonville, Mississippi at the time. So,
okay,
he was little.
Cool. Yeah,
He was little. So we'll get him on, and basically what I'll do is I'll get him on the speakerphone, and I'll talk to him on the speakerphone next to the microphone. We'll get him on for one of the UFO episodes. We can't make a whole episode about his thing. There's not that much to it.
Yeah,
but,
cool.
We can get him on there for it. And, see about that.
Yeah, it was either EVPs, or I was thinking about forest rangers talking about stairs.
Stairs?
So
what do you mean, like with the eyes, or like with the stepping?
With stepping.
Stairs.
So
with the stepping?
There are lots and hundreds, if not thousands, of reports of people that do search and rescue in large forests and state parks, finding perfectly brand new cases of stairs in the middle of the woods. And a lot of the stories go, new guy gets hired and they get called up for a search and rescue, and they're out searching, and he sees some stairs, and he says something to his supervisor, and he's like, no, you don't touch them, don't go near them, just walk away. Or there'll be a story of the new guy going out, seeing him, walking up the stairs, and then coming back down, and then spending the rest of the day looking, coming back, and they'd start freaking out and be like, where were you? And he's like, I just went out and searched like everybody else. They're like, you've been gone for 5 days.
Ooh.
And then
are there some good accounts though?
There's this, my first real trip down a rabbit hole was about stairs. There's a YouTube channel I follow. We could save it for later. I really want to do EVPs.
Okay, either one. I was gonna say, I know you said you really like EVPs though. So
I love EVPs. They're so
and
good.
I don't have hardly any exposure other than the worst examples, which are those ghost hunter shows that are syndicated on channels that shouldn't be covering it, like Travel Channel and what's the other, Bravo, and all that garbage, where South Park made that episode making fun of them, where they're like, what did you hear that? It's sort of it was like a, did you hear, it's just them making stupid noises, like, look, a ghost literally peed my pants. Is everybody getting this? Are you getting this? Is it in the shop? It's so funny. And so those are the only shows I have any experience with where they have to get results for every episode, and it just seems super bogus. Yeah. They bring a bunch of equipment and get not a thing. And some of them, there was one that I wish I could remember the name of it. It was only interesting to watch because they did go to some creepy places.
Yeah.
Now, the 6 or 8 episodes that I watched, they never found a damn thing, but they did go to some derelict prisons from the 1920s, and like, you know, stuff that is, you know, had heinous stuff, or like, you know, mental institutions when they still abuse patients. Like, they go to some creepy places with some awful history, and they've got a big long spiel about the history, and they talk a lot about that, enough to creep you out.
Yeah.
Besides, you know, them hanging out there in the dark. And they never have any results or find anything. They act like, oh, well, we think we sort of got like a little whisper of thing. They don't. But the places they go to are super creepy and interesting.
Well, I will do a
So I'd be
deep
interested to hear some real EVP.
Yeah, I'll do a deep dive and find some good ones. I'll see if I can't get a good 20 of them or so. And we'll talk,
that'd be good.
Talk a little bit about the science behind EVPs. So look forward to that next week.
Yeah, I'd like you to run down how people are recording that stuff, because I'm, you know, as you know, I'm a big sound guy.
Yeah.
So I want to know how they're doing that stuff. And like, you know, also I'd like to know, if you know, because I don't, every like modern, you know, ghost horror movie, they always bring out a bunch of equipment. Right?
Yeah.
The equipment. What is that supposed to be representing? Like, is there a bunch of equipment the ghost hunters bring out? What kind of stuff?
Yeah, I've done some, so I could tell you all about it.
So get into some of that stuff too, and tell us like what, you know, what sort of, like, what's the coolest kit, like what's the stuff.
Yeah, there's
people
one
bring.
specific guy that I could talk about. He's really revolutionizing current paranormal investigations. Dude's he's making his own equipment he's repurposing shit. My favorite thing is he takes the camera from an Xbox Connect, because it has
depth sensing.
It's got the tracking for humans, and he's catching figures where there aren't figures.
Oh, like it's registering a figure, but there's obviously no one there in the camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they do the tracking
really
with both the visual, and then they've got a depth sensing camera.
Yeah, Xbox Connect camera is pretty great. We'll get into that next week. It's good fun.
Okay, yeah, show us some of that stuff, because I am interested in that, because that's, you know, it's all there. It's people trying to prove it with empirical evidence and science, which I really dig, because you know, I want to molder the thing.
Okay, cool.
We'll
do it.
I want to be into it.
We'll do it. Well, I'm going to go ahead and plug our socials right quick. If you guys want to shout out to us, you know, give us an idea for an episode, or want to talk shit about how much we talk shit about the state of New Jersey tonight, email us at beyondshadowspodcast@gmail.com. We are on Instagram at Beyond Shadows Podcast, and we are on Facebook, Beyond the Shadows Podcast. We all have this right here that's above me. This is our logo. So look for that, and you will find us. We don't have a lot on Instagram, and we don't have a lot on Facebook. But every one of these episodes are uploaded to YouTube and uploaded to Spotify. I don't think we're on Apple Podcasts. I don't know. I don't have an iPhone. Wait, you have an iPhone?
I do.
Do you have Apple Podcasts on there?
I have Apple Music somewhere.
Yeah, so so when we get our analytics, we don't usually get. It always says Spotify. Everyone's always listening on Spotify. So I'm assuming, because we're publishing through Spotify, that we're not on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, I assume you have to actually publish to them.
Yeah, it used to not be like that years ago. This is my third or fourth podcast. So.
Oh no, I don't. Oh wait, there we go. Apple Music, Beyond the Shadow. Does not look like it. There's a bunch of stuff with the name Beyond the Shadows. Most of them are albums, songs.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll see about getting us pushed out the Apple Podcast too.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that'll cause a conflict with Spotify or not. So we'll see. We'll look into it. So again, our email, beyondshadowspodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to reach out to us. And we look forward to hearing from you guys. And next week, we'll be talking about EVPs and paranormal investigations. So make sure that you follow us.
Beyond the Shadows.
There we go.
Good night, everybody.
Jeez, I was wondering if we were going to do it.
Hang for
creature like that, how would it ever die?
And this monster starts running right at me.
Annihilated by nuclear bombs.
Beast is not dead. I put 4 bullets into him.
Oh, you're crazy.
But I saw that monster too. All I want is for someone to believe me.
Contaminated.
Face. Horrible. Look like it would scare you to death.
All right, let's get to work.
Beyond the shadows.